The serving platters circulated around my parents' dining table like they did every Sunday, a tradition that had continued unbroken for nearly 2 decades. Roast beef, mashed potatoes, green beans, almondine. The same menu, the same china, the same seating arrangements that never changed. The familiarity of it all felt heavy and predictable. My son sat beside me, his economics textbook half hidden under his napkin. He was preparing for his university entrance exams, studying whenever he could find a moment between family obligations, conversations, and expectations placed on him by people who barely understood his effort. My brother-in-law Marcus leaned back in his chair, gesturing with his wine glass like a conductor leading an orchestra. He ran a successful car dealership downtown, and he never let anyone forget it. Every conversation somehow circled back to his latest sale, his newest acquisition, his expanding empire, and his belief that money equaled worth. His wife, my sister Jennifer, sat beside him wearing the diamond earrings he had bought her last month after closing a particularly lucrative deal. She touched them frequently, as if to remind everyone they were there, and as if they defined her status. The dining room felt smaller than usual, packed with extended family and unspoken judgments. Uncle Robert and Aunt Patricia occupied the seats nearest my parents. My younger cousin Tom sat across from David, scrolling through his phone with barely concealed boredom and indifference. My mother moved between the dining room and the kitchen, ensuring every dish was perfectly presented and every glass kept full, her anxiety visible in every careful movement. "So, David," Marcus said, addressing my 15-year-old son. His voice carried across the table, cutting through multiple conversations. "What are your plans after high school, following in your mom's footsteps with the cleaning business?" The table quieted instantly. Forks paused mid-air. My parents exchanged uncomfortable glances across the table, a silent communication perfected over 40 years of marriage. "I ran a small commercial cleaning company," something Marcus found endlessly amusing. He had made jokes about it for years, each one slightly more pointed than the last, each one designed to remind me where he thought I belonged. David looked up from his textbook, his expression neutral. He had inherited my ability to keep emotions hidden. "I'm applying to business school, actually, economics major." Marcus laughed, the sound sharp and dismissive, bouncing off my mother's carefully arranged wall decorations. "Business school. That's ambitious for someone whose family scrubs toilets for a living." Jennifer didn't defend us. She never did. She had stopped defending me around the time Marcus bought his second dealership and their social circle expanded beyond people who remembered us as equals. My parents focused intently on their plates, suddenly fascinated by the precise arrangement of roast beef and potatoes. "He's got excellent grades," I said quietly. "Top 5% of his class." "Grades." Marcus waved his hand dismissively. "Let me tell you about the real world, kid. I started with nothing and built an empire. 3 dealerships now. That's real success, not some theoretical classroom nonsense." He reached behind his chair and produced a mop, the wooden handle worn smooth from years of use. I recognized it from my parents' hall closet. He must have grabbed it before dinner, planning this moment of humiliation well in advance. "Here," Marcus said, extending the mop toward David with a theatrical flourish. "Practice for your future. Get a head start on the family business. Maybe you'll be as successful as your mother someday." The relatives around the table chuckled nervously. Uncle Robert smiled into his napkin, his shoulders shaking slightly. Aunt Patricia raised her eyebrows but said nothing, her silence as damning as any laugh. My father cut his roast beef with surgical precision, refusing to meet my eyes. The knife scraped against the plate with each cut, the only sound in the suddenly tense room. David took the mop with steady hands. He didn't blush or argue or show any sign of embarrassment. He simply set it beside his chair with careful precision and returned to his textbook, finding his place on the page without missing a beat. "You know what I love about real estate," Marcus continued, warming to his topic now that he had everyone's attention. He lived for moments like this, when all eyes turned to him. Tangible assets, real property, something you can touch, something that matters. "I just signed a lease on a new location for my 4th dealership, downtown prime location." 20,000 square feet of pure potential. That's the kind of move that separates the winners from the floor scrubbers. Congratulations, I said. My voice remained level, carefully modulated from years of dealing with difficult clients and tougher negotiations. The building owner was desperate to fill it, Marcus continued, oblivious to the shift in my posture. The previous tenant went bankrupt and left the place empty for months. I negotiated an incredible rate, 5-year lease with an option to buy at the end. The property management company practically begged me to sign. I basically stole the place. I reached for my water glass, taking a slow sip. My laptop sat in my bag beside my chair, the leather handle worn from daily use. I had brought it to show my parents some photos from David's academic awards ceremony the week before, but I hadn't gotten around to it yet. The ceremony had been beautiful. David received 3 separate awards for academic excellence. Marcus and Jennifer hadn't attended. "How much is the rent?" Uncle Robert asked, his professional curiosity kicking in. 48,000 a month, Marcus said proudly. That's a gift for that neighborhood and that square footage. The building's worth twice that in rental value. The property management company said I was their ideal tenant. That's the Morrison building, right? Uncle Robert asked. On 5th in Maine. 8 stories. The one with the Art Deco facade. That's the one. Underground parking. Updated electrical. The works. I opened my laptop. The screen glowed in the dim dining room light. Speaking of that building, I said conversationally, I should probably mention something. Marcus was already moving on, joking about vacations and boats. Marcus, I said quietly, about the Morrison building. I turned the laptop toward him. The emails were clearly visible. Property management reports, lease agreements, financial statements. I own it, I said simply. The conversation stopped. Marcus's wine glass froze midair. I own the Morrison building. I have for 3 years. I bought it when the estate liquidated. I also own several others. The cleaning company is how I identify undervalued properties and manage them efficiently. Uncle Robert set down his fork. The Morrison building sold for over $8 million. $8.2 million, I corrected. I paid cash. Marcus's expression cracked. Your property manager said the owner was desperate. That was me. I needed a tenant. I accepted your offer. This is a joke, Marcus said, his confidence gone. I showed him the lease. My company name was there. My signature authorized it. My mother finally spoke. You never told us. You never asked, I replied. Everyone assumed the cleaning business was all I had. David watched quietly, pride in his eyes. He had known for years. He had helped me review listings and analyze numbers. Marcus called his attorney. The truth confirmed everything. The lease was real. The owner was me. The table fell silent as the reality settled in. The mop still leaned against David's chair. I closed my laptop. David's future was his to define. We stood to leave. My father apologized softly in the hallway. We should have listened. Yes, I said. You should have. Outside, the air felt lighter. In the car, David finally spoke. Thanks for not letting him define my future with that mop. Your future was never his to define, I said. As city lights passed by, messages flooded my phone. I ignored them. David returned to his textbook, calm and focused. His future stretched ahead, open and entirely his own. Every month for years to come, Marcus would remember the day he handed a mop to a 15-year-old boy and learned a lesson that cost him both pride and money.